Hi everybody, it's Dylan. I'm going to be doing my persuasive speech on Dungeons and Dragons and why you should play. Before I begin, I would like to apologize. I am sitting for this. I thought having my PowerPoint on a television screen behind me would be the best way to present this, so I am sitting, but I am just as involved in the speech giving process. Alright, so to begin, I would like you to imagine that you and a group of friends that you've known for a long time and you've adventured with previously are in a cave. A cave that you were told was filled with gold. And up until this point, you hadn't found any. It actually seemed to be rather barren. And as you turn the corner through a large archway, you are greeted with mountains of gold and jewels and magical weapons and more money than you could have ever imagined. And as you're taking all of this in, one of your teammates is promptly stuffing as much of gold as possible into his pack. You hear movement, and out of one of the mountains of gold comes a dragon. Bright red, easily 6 times your height, staring at you and rather angry that you have invaded its home. This is a common occurrence in Dungeons and Dragons, obviously by the name, but you're often faced with enemies that are much bigger than you and much stronger than you, and you have to find ways to get out of it. One of the big benefits of Dungeons and Dragons and playing it is the social aspect. Socializing with your friends is really important for your mental health. John Kashuda, a professor for the online academy at study.com, defines social wellness as the ability to form satisfying relationships with others and the ability to adapt to different social situations. This is developed through interacting with your friends as the characters they are in Dungeons and Dragons and addressing the NPCs that you meet and just kind of everything that you do. It's also really important, again, for your mental health that you address your social wellness. The Student Health Department at the University of California says that social wellness is important because it allows you to communicate and trust others as well as developing conflict management skills. And I think as college students, we tend to give up some of our social interactions for classwork and things that we deem more important. But in doing something like Dungeons and Dragons, it's a good way to set an activity for you to do in a time limit so that you're still doing something while you interact instead of maybe just sitting next to each other on a couch. And it's very involved and you're still learning useful skills. It also works on team building. Of course, you create new characters every time you start a new adventure, and you have to learn to work with those people, and that's really valuable as you go into your next careers. An article on Live Career, which is a website of recent college graduates that post advice and information, says that 9 out of 10 jobs require that you work with other people. Other information is that Brian Sudamore, a writer for Forbes magazine, says that team building skills are one of the most important investments a company can make. Which means that, yes, you're playing and you're having fun, but you're also building skills that will help you in your future careers. Another great aspect of Dungeons and Dragons is the creativity that it brings. You have to use your imagination to create your characters, develop your characters, give them a personality that isn't just you. You roleplay and interact with the world around you, and you also have to solve problems because it's really likely that dragon you met in the room full of gold is a lot stronger than you, and just running up and hitting it with your weapon isn't gonna do you as much good as maybe coming up with a way to get out of it alive without fighting would. It helps you develop these skills, and it's a lot of fun. In the meantime, one of the biggest counter arguments I've heard to playing Dungeons and Dragons is that it's really complicated. And I understand that in the beginning it definitely looks like that. You look at your character sheet, which is full of random numbers and information, and it's really confusing and you don't know what those things are. But after you make your character sheet, like you fill out all of the information yourself, you get a much clearer knowledge of what these things mean. You know that up here these numbers mean something and that this information means something, and it all makes sense when you're using it. So what are you gonna do to beat that dragon?